Truck Chat, Mercedes-Benz Sedan Edition. Man, today for sure I'm getting me a freaking car mount for my phone, because I always got stuff I can talk about, especially when I'm driving. It's always a great time for me to think, and I have a lot of clarity and good stuff. But anyways, I am on my way to go do my morning cardio. A little late start today. Just doing help stuff around the house and whatever. But pretty excited about my check-in picks this morning. You know, another day closer to North Americans. Man, just a lot to be thankful for. First and foremost, just to be alive and to wake up. That honestly means everything. Because, you know, some people don't get to do that. So just truly, when you think about the gift of life, and, you know, we're not promised today or tomorrow, but when you get it tomorrow and you get it today, yeah, that's a celebration. But yeah, so lots to be thankful for. Earlier this week, I had a pretty direct conversation with a great friend of mine, and you know what? Accountability. When you ask for it, and you got someone that lives that life, you know, be careful what you pray for and ask for, because, you know, being held accountable for stuff that you say you're going to do, and someone checks you on it, it can be a great wake-up call, or it can be your worst nightmare. And I say that jokingly, but it's true. Like, you know, we all have the ability to do great things and to succeed in life. You know, I'm not going to go into rabbit holes, because, you know, everyone has a story. Everyone's different. Yada, yada, yada. I get all that. But, like, you know, and this isn't me being like a motivational or like I got all the answers. I just know for me, like, realizing that I've let myself down so many times in the past, made promises to myself that at the moment I'm like, yeah, I got this, and then I give up. Now that comes through years of being programmed that way and allowing that on myself, but, you know, no excuses, and definitely not a victim. Like, shit, I want to own everything, every decision I've made, you know, every screw up, and thank God that God's not hanging my past over me, because that would suck. A lot of times it's us hanging our past over ourselves, and that hangs us up, and then we can't get out of the freaking cycle or the pit that we're in. But I have made my decision, and I'm refusing to sell myself short, to give up, because life is short, and I want to succeed in a lot of things and be successful in many different areas, and here we are on that journey. But man, when you realize, like, just making a decision, like, there's a lot that goes into it. So I'm not saying that you can make a decision and then you have to change your mind or whatnot, but it's still the being accountable to yourself. Like, you know, in scripture, I don't know where it is, but, and I'm fine not knowing where it is. At least I know that there's scripture about this, where I think it's Jesus saying, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Now, look, I'm not trying to take that passage or that scripture out of context, because context matters 100% completely. You can't cherry pick scripture to make it fit your whatever to create something. I mean, some people do it, some people have done it, but I'm refusing that just from what I've come from. But look, you know, and maybe I'll do a video later about what Jesus is really saying about let your yes be yes and your no be no. But I look at that and realize that's like, if you say you're going to do something, you're going to do it. If you make a promise to yourself, you're going to do it. If you make a promise to other people, you freaking do what you say you're going to do. And if you say no, stick with your no. You can't be wishy-washy. And I have been the king of letting my yes be maybe, letting my yes be, oh, my bad, letting my yes be, I forgot, and letting myself down and people down, because, you know, your word does matter. And I think that's where I'm going with this, is like, you know, let your yes be yes and your no be no. My mom used to tell me that growing up a lot, and now that, you know, a lot of life has happened, and you know, my mom having dementia and haven't been able to see her in almost 4 years, and that's a whole other story. Like, you start gleaning from things that you were taught. And so, you know, let your yes be yes and your no be no. In the small things and the big things. But look, regardless of no one's watching, God's watching. God is with you. Jesus lives in you. His Spirit is there. If you are in the faith, you know. But it's not like he's watching down on you like, oh, you better, I'm God. No, he's your Father. He's the greatest Father. But like, we are accountable to our actions and the words we speak and the things that we do. This isn't to, you know, get people all into becoming religious or more religious, or definitely legalistic, because that is definitely not the good news whatsoever. But it matters. It matters what you say. It matters what you do, because it all adds up. So yeah, hopefully you can glean from that, learn from that, you know. But yeah, that was just a little tidbit of what's going through my thoughts, and just got to put it out there because somebody needs to hear it. I've needed to hear it. And when I got that phone call on a Monday, and I had to hear that, it just, because I had been thinking about some decisions that I had made recently and things that I said I'm going to do, and then, you know, I started slipping. But look, God's grace, His grace is sufficient, and it's so good to have people around you that you allow in your life for accountability. I'm not saying you become yes men or you do everything people like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, nobody's meant to be a lone ranger in life. You got to have those near and dear to you that you can be real with, and they can be real with you. So when I got that call, it was like, you know, snap to, come to attention, you know, get in your crawl a little bit, a little knife hand action for you Marines out there, and or anyone else who knows what knife handing is. But maybe I'm digressing. But anyways, you know, it's Thursday morning. We all got a day ahead of us. Make it your best. If you got any responses or replies or want to chat about this, let me know. But everyone, have a great day. Remember, let your yes be yes and your no be no.